I would have found it more pleasant if I wasn't confused and if I wasn't cringing and if I didn't keep saying, what am I watching? Like, Andrea Bocelli is here?
I know. Hi, I'm Luke.
And I'm Becca, and we're talking about movies like we know stuff.
Bienvenido, friends. We just got done seeing Solo Mio. We just got done seeing Solo Mio, which is a new movie out by Kevin James. It's about
newish. It's been out for a couple months.
Yeah. Newish one from Kevin James. It's been out for a little bit, but we just got done seeing it, and I'm going to kick it over to Becca to give a quick synopsis of the movie. Becca, take it away.
Okay. So Solo Mio is basically a chick flick set in Italy that came out this Valentine's Day season that we actually chose to not see and see Goat instead.
It definitely intrigued me. I called it out when we were looking at movies to see.
Yeah.
I think it was good that we saw Goat, but we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. I wouldn't say this is a Twilight Years romance because Kevin James is, like 50s, but it's a later in life romance story where Kevin James plays a man who's left at the altar at his destination wedding in Rome. And unfortunately for him, his honeymoon was supposed to start immediately after said wedding, and he had all of these tours booked, tandem style, with all of these other couples, and general chaos kind of ensues. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So we'll start this review off as spoiler-free, and then we'll let you guys know when the spoilers are coming in case you haven't seen it yet or you don't want any spoilers. So, Becca, initial impressions movie, what'd you think?
I'd say that this movie was in the camp of a decent Netflix movie.
Okay, and why do you say that?
It wasn't as bad as a Hallmark movie in terms of script or the way it was shot. You could tell that there was talent put into the production, but this wasn't nearly as good as like a Nancy Meyers directed film or a Nora Ephron, a golden age of chick flicks that I've been talking about recently. It can't even touch those.
Okay.
I do think this will be forgotten in the history of cinema.
Interesting, because I really like this movie.
Oh,
yeah,
good for you.
I really like this movie. It's probably
You're just biased because you loved Italy, but I loved Italy too.
Yeah,
so.
No, it's not because of my Italy bias. It's probably because I don't know, I just enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really a fun story with a lot of good emotion in it and some complexity and some twists and turns that happened in it. It's also probably partially because I am nowhere near a chick flick connoisseur or expert, so that's probably why. But don't get me wrong, there are like gaping holes and weird plot points in this and wild, uncalled for twists and turns, but I liked this for the most part.
I mean, without getting spoilers, I can say that there isn't anything even vaguely realistic about this movie.
I'm sure there isn't. Yeah,
Nothing. The only thing that's realistic about this movie is that it happened in a real place. Italy is a real country, and the places that they went to are real. Those are real towns.
Sure.
And that's where it ends.
That's where it ends.
That's where the realism ends. And I am a romance girly. I'm going to see. This should be in the vein of movies I love. But I feel like this is what people who don't like chick flicks, this is what they think chick flicks are.
That's probably true.
It's probably like, you were like, this is great.
I liked this movie. I really liked it.
Oh.
I thought it was enjoyable. I think the portrayal of emotion, whether it was authentic or not in terms of logistics in the story, I think the portrayal of emotion was very good in this. It made me feel, for sure.
Really?
I think the emotion on the actors' faces, I think, was done very well.
Yeah. I like Kevin James. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
And I did believe him in this role as a well-meaning regular guy. He's a teacher at a public school. He wants to believe in romance. But because his character was so kind and open, I think I had a hard time believing that he had never been married.
Sure.
I think I would have believed his backstory more if he had been divorced before, maybe even widowed. But I just didn't believe that this really affable guy was single till he was almost 60.
Sure.
I just don't.
Almost 60. We'll say like 50s.
I just don't buy that. And because of that, his whole performance felt a little droopy dog to me.
Droopy dog?
He's just walking around like Droopy Dog until he meets beautiful Italian manic pixie dream girl, which I did think she was very charming. I thought that actress was very charming, very beautiful, very engaging. She was a character you wanted to like. She was a person you wanted to meet. But it just all felt really one-dimensional to me.
Sure. Yeah.
And I also thought the ensemble cast was pretty
They were
unlikable.
I thought they were funny. I enjoyed them for the humor that they brought. I agree, 100%. This movie has some major flaws to it.
No,
I just enjoyed it,
the
including the characters.
I mean, there's these two super dysfunctional couples, and the one how many times they've been divorced and have gotten remarried
it's kind of the joke.
It's a talking point, or it's a bragging point. So they felt much more like characters in an Adam Sandler movie, like a Happy Madison film, production movie, than whatever this was. And then the other couple, the one woman's a therapist, but she's really mean. It's like
and like,
I am so glad she's not my therapist.
I know.
I felt like they were really out of place, and I think that was my biggest problem with the movie. Is I feel like it was genre confused.
It was definitely genre confused.
It didn't know what it was. I was expecting.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I was expecting a more heartfelt drama, coming of age, later in life story.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was a comedy / Hallmark / dude, where's my car? Like zaniness.
Wow.
I don't know what I watched. I don't know what this was.
Yeah, I think that's probably the headline, is if they cut out the comedic parts and tightened up the story just a little bit, this probably could have been a halfway decent, fully emotional movie.
Yeah, I think it could have been, I would have found it more pleasant if I wasn't confused and if I wasn't cringing and if I didn't keep saying, what am I watching? Like, Andrea Bocelli is here?
I know.
Why?
I know.
Why?
Yeah.
So many things. Why? I don't know.
I can't stop laughing because I just enjoyed the whole ride. And maybe part of it was because it was so wild, but I thought it was enjoyable.
I feel like I'm not being very nice when I say good for you. I genuinely do mean if you did enjoy it, that's great. Because there's other times that
you strongly disagree and you're upset that I like something.
Or no, I'm going along for the ride and you're like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
I sincerely mean that if you love this movie, that is lovely. And I wish that I would have felt the same because I love the setting. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it reminded us of going to Italy, except for all the hijinks that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful movie, but it just, for me, I couldn't get over like the really bad pacing.
Right.
And it felt like a musical where everything happens really quickly, and or like a Disney movie. Mm-hmm. And like we can go into that for spoilers.
Sure.
But I'm all for a movie not being a 2.5-hour epic when it's a simple story.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
But I feel like this was really fast.
Certain parts were fast, yeah, for sure.
I think it could have been a good 10 minutes longer.
Maybe, yeah. I can see that, for sure.
It was a lot.
Yeah. So with that, I think I would recommend that you see it. I would not encourage you to watch it in the theaters. I don't even think it's in theaters anymore, so you really don't have a chance of watching it in the theaters. But if you want to turn off your brain, happy-go-lucky, kind of silly, off-the-wall movie, this is probably a thumbs up from me. What would you say?
It was a movie I saw.
It was a movie that you saw? Okay, so maybe thumbs down for you.
If you want to see a beautiful movie set in Italy, or you've been to Italy and you want to be reminded of how gorgeous it was and how incredible the food looks and how beautiful the landscapes are and how friendly generally the people are, then absolutely go for it.
Yep.
But I can't sign off on the script except for one thing at the end that I'll save for spoilers.
Okay, gotcha. Very good. All right, well, if that was enough to tempt you to go watch this movie, you probably should click away now because the spoilers are coming pretty soon here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before you go, though, guys. Thanks. All right, and if you're still with us, you're in for the long haul of the train of spoilers here. So, Becca, you have a lot of things to critique, and I will definitely rip off of your critiques here. Hit us with the first one. What do you want to say about this movie first?
Honestly...
Yeah, let's serious it up a little bit. Try to be a little seriouser, more serious.
Honestly, there aren't a lot of spoilers to give because the movie ain't that deep.
No, it's not. No, not even close.
I would say that the only thing that I think I liked about the ending, although I did laugh at a couple of jokes, was the reveal that Kevin James' love interest unknowingly advised his reluctant fiance to not go through with their wedding.
Yeah.
And that made the third act breakup make a lot more sense.
Yes.
When Manic Pixie Dream Girl Gia basically declares her affection for Kevin James, and he explains hey, I didn't just get out of a relationship, I actually got left at the altar.
Mm-hmm.
And then she makes the connection, or fears that's the connection, and feels horrified that, oh my goodness, this man had this horrendous breakup and I instigated it.
Mm-hmm. No, I think she truly does make the connection. It's not revealed to the audience till a couple minutes later, but when he shows her the note, she sees the note that was right in front of her when she was at the coffee table. But for me, that twist is honestly what turned this movie from a mid to a positive for me.
I do think it saves the movie.
That twist is honestly really well done, in my opinion.
It saved the movie overall, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think until that happens, though, the third act breakup seems ridiculous.
It's a little weird.
Because she knew he was just in a relationship.
Yeah.
And he's also an American traveling, and it's not crazy to think that he was there on an important trip.
Right.
Maybe I was going to propose.
Yeah.
Or, again, Italy's a very popular destination wedding place. And it just seemed so silly.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't know. I don't know. But it was a good twist at the end.
It was.
I like that his ex-fiance showed up, explaining what happened. I like that she even talked about getting back together. I felt like her performance, for the minimal time his ex-fiance was on screen, I thought she had a very realistic performance.
I think she did too. Yeah.
Portrayal.
She was a good actress. Yeah.
Yeah, portrayal of this, woman shaking. Basically.
Sure. Well, yeah, sure. She just went through a very traumatic event.
Right, because of this terrible thing that also happened to her.
Right.
So, I think
one of the twists that I think
good.
didn't land very well, and I think you're going to agree with me on this, is the landlord / potentially relative.
Ex-husband.
Was ex-husband? Yeah. It was very weird.
Right. Why was he hanging out with her family?
That whole dynamic was weird, but the twist that he changes his mind and decides to sell the coffee shop to her even after she lost the horse race bet. It was very weird. It felt out of left field.
Yeah.
It was one of many things to critique about this movie, but that one to me really stood out as that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I feel like because so many things in this movie didn't make sense, it almost didn't even
register for you.
register for me because I'd kind of checked.
It wasn't on your Richter scale.
I had kind of checked out.
Yeah, that's fair.
But now that I think about it,
it doesn't make any sense.
Again, this guy's clearly a jerk. He's a womanizer.
Yeah.
He was a bad husband. And she looks kind of sad at a horse race. And he's like, you know what?
I'm going to give it to you anyway.
I'm not going to be a dick anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird.
Okay.
It's so weird, yeah. And then I even said this to you out loud while we were watching the movie, but when the catapulting or the catalyst point of the whole movie happens where she leaves him at the altar, Kevin James' character doesn't react how I think Kevin James' character should react. If it was me and I got left at the altar, I would be in tears and inconsolable immediately.
Yeah.
And he's just slightly panicked.
I think that didn't bother me. I feel like he was just in shock. I think he was
guess.
just in shock. I think it was.
But then even whenever he comes out of the shock and he has that little powwow with his guy-gal friends in his room,
yeah,
he cries for 3 seconds and then it's over.
Yeah.
To really sell that he was left at the altar and the tragedy of such an event like that, there has to be I know it's a guy, so you're not supposed to cry a lot or whatever, but you have to sell the sadness a little bit better than they did in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie's just pretty surface level.
It is.
Okay, I'm gonna get all my other critiques out of the way that probably aren't that good of a spoiler, and then I'll give one last positive thing just to be nice.
All right, I'm ready.
But it definitely feels like a movie in Italy made by Americans with not a lot of Italian input, where they're leaning so much into the stereotypes. I mean, we were in Italy, and there aren't hordes of children that harass you outside of small coffee shops. Pickpocketing generally is going to happen in big areas.
Sure, yeah.
Little things like that were a bit much, that Kevin James was getting his wallet stolen by a horde of 12-year-olds every day.
Yeah,
that was a bit much.
It was weird, yeah.
And every native Italian, except for the love interest, being really loud and really obnoxious.
Yeah.
And sometimes it felt a little caricature.
Yeah, you're right. This probably was. We're gonna look so bad if someone's no, it was written by real Italian people, but it does feel like a Italian movie written by Americans. Mm-hmm. It does. Yeah. No, that's a really good point.
But that being said,
I'll throw in one other one while you're scrolling through your notes. The subtitles messed up one of the song choices, and one of the positives for me was that Nessun Dorma was kind of a central song in this movie, and that's my favorite operatic song of all time. Not that my opera knowledge is very broad, but that's my current favorite of all time. And Andre Bocelli plays It's Time to Say Goodbye, and the subtitles clearly stated plays Nessun Dorma, which was completely incorrect. So that threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that leads to one of my last positives.
Yeah,
so one positive is that they referenced both of our favorite opera or opera adjacent songs, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Andrea Bocelli being willing to be in this movie, that was cool.
That was cool.
That was nice of you. And lastly, I would say that the movie still has a nice message, and I appreciate the message of there's really no real life without risk. There's no life worth living without risk.
Yeah.
And I know that's not a groundbreaking message.
But, I mean, what message in a movie really is that groundbreaking?
But it's still sweet. It's a better message than just go be zany in another country with a bunch of weirdos and you'll find love.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I think that kind of wraps up our review. There's not a ton to say about this movie. Again, like you said, it's surface level. I enjoyed it. You were kind of mid on it, which is fine, but you can't really put a number to enjoy in mid, so I'm gonna let you go first in your number rating, because I want to get the bad one out of the way first.
I'm gonna give it a 5.5.
I thought you were gonna get it.
And it would have been a solid 5 if Italy wasn't so beautiful, and if there wasn't good use of music in the movie. Yeah. But I can't in good faith score it any higher.
Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna give it a 6.9 just to give it on the cusp of being an acceptably good movie to me.
See, I thought you would have been like a solid 7.
I thought about doing a 7, but you've talked me out of it again, like you always do on these reviews.
This movie was bad.
You're the better movie critic than I am, so you're probably correct that this movie was bad. But I enjoyed it. I had a fun time. So
listen, people, your mom's gonna love it.
Your mom will love this movie.
If you want to take your mom to a movie or buy her a movie, this is a great choice. Or your grandma. Your grandma will also love this movie.
The chick flick lover in your family. This is for them.
Yes.
Gosh. So, anyway, we thank you guys so much for watching. Before you guys go, if you want to check out one of our other movie reviews that we did, probably scored a little bit higher than this one. It was Project Hail Mary. We were a little bit late to the ball on that one, but I think you guys will enjoy the review anyway. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before you guys head out. It really helps our growing channel. And thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great night.